So I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video or not, but I started this channel so I could come on here and talk about whatever the fuck it is I want to talk about. So fuck it. So in the past few years, a lot of young Nigerians have been getting killed, beaten up, raped, or arrested unjustly by a branch of the police force called SARS, which is meant to stand for Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And from the name, you'd assume they should only be involved in stopping robberies, right? But they've taken it upon themselves because for one reason or the other, they got too bored with their normal job and they went to start targeting Nigerians who they felt were criminals. And you think, okay, they're a special anti-robbery squad, so they must have a way of profiling criminals accurately enough to, get them. But the way that they profile these people is with very unreasonable standards, such as if someone has an iPhone, for example, or if someone has dreads, or if someone is driving a nice car, then they are automatically assumed by this group to be criminals. And it still blows my mind how messed up the country must be for these people to see someone having an iPhone and think there's no way a Nigerian has an iPhone except if they're doing criminal activities, if they're stealing or if they're robbing people or doing fraud or whatever. Like that's just such a huge arrow pointing at a huge problem that the country faces. And regardless, these people are meant to stop actual robbery, not assuming that people are robbers or thieves or whatever. And then they arrest these people with no evidence whatsoever, take them to the station or wherever it is that their base is, and arrest them and keep them there if they refuse to pay them a bribe. There are numerous cases and accounts of people over the years that have had this experience where they get arrested or they get told to pay like an insane amount of money just because they're driving a nice car. And they tend to target young people because if they go for the old people, they know chances are they could be a politician or someone in a high position of power that could get them in trouble. But with younger people who, for the most part, found a way to be more resourceful and get these things for themselves, they don't necessarily tie into the whole system of corruption that balls all the way from the top of the political system in the country. So they are easier targets, and those are the people that they go for. There are people that have been killed. There are people's children that have been killed by these people that are meant to be protecting them. It's an anti-robbery unit that is basically the ones that are doing the robbery. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I feel like this has been normal place in the country for so long. Like the police just comes into your car after a traffic stop and tells you to drive them to the police station. On your way there, they ask you to give them something for the weekend, which is code for a bribe. And if you don't, then they make it more difficult for you. And if you do, then they just let you go. And I feel like we all grew up seeing it happen and we just thought, okay, like that's normal. Because the older people that we were looking up to see how the society is working, they just saw this as a normal thing happening as well. And they probably saw it from the people before then and before them. And it's just kept cascading down. Now with more videos that are coming out, people are getting extremely fed up with seeing how a branch of the government or something that the government is meant to be in charge of is just being brutal towards its citizens, stealing from its people, killing its own people. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I think just like how the other movements that have happened in different places started, it's very, very expected that people will get frustrated. We've been in lockdown for 9 months, almost 9 months. People have lost their jobs and the government hasn't been doing anything to properly handle the situation. Of course, people are going to be frustrated. If you're not even getting that right, the least you can do is not have your citizens dying unjustly on the streets by people that are meant to be under your control. That's the least you could do. If you're not going to guarantee them job security, that's the least you could do. The country has a poverty rate of 40%. 40% of the country earns less than $361 a year. That is what it means. 40%. And then we keep seeing videos like this. Where someone who is meant to have been in charge of the money that was being allocated towards the coronavirus situation, the handling of it and everything, pretending to have a heart attack on live TV in front of a hearing. And they have this other video.
Who are even the greatest beneficiaries? It's two people now. Okay. Because if you look at your chairman, okay, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, that's okay. That's okay. No, can I ask you that question? What is the benefit?
Where someone is literally about to expose them for the misappropriation of the funds that were given to them for the pandemic, and they're telling them to keep quiet. That's how messed up the country is. 40% of your citizens are living in poverty, and the money that is going to you is being reallocated to your own pockets. And then there's the House of Assembly, where the senators make $75,000 a month. $75,000 a month. But 40% of the general population doesn't make more than $360 a year. $75,000 a month. And do you know where that money goes? These people are getting helps, drivers, cars, houses, trips, free healthcare, all these things that the normal citizen would never be able to dream of ever having. Why are you getting 3-4 cars? Why are you getting pension savings when you are no longer even in office? Why are you getting all these things when 40% of your country doesn't know where their next meal is going to come from? Of course, people are going to get frustrated. You are doing all of this. It's all in our faces. All these things are coming out on the news, and you expect people not to be upset. The least you could do is not kill them, or not be quiet, or not have any kind of control over these people that are meant to be protecting them. That's the least you could do. And of course, people are going to protest when that's their basic human right to live is not being met. And now the people go out to protest peacefully, and you see the police or the SARS people doing things like this. Do these people look like they've been trained on how to handle a protest? It doesn't even seem like they're handling a protest, because it's not. You handle riots, you don't handle protests or peaceful protests. Why are you shooting your guns? And why are you shooting your guns like that? Oh my God. If you know me, then you know I usually stay clear from Nigerian politics, because over my entire life, it's been very frustrating, because every time we see so many messed up things happening and nothing gets done about it, we just complain and nothing gets done. And I don't think there's any point in complaining about something if you're not going to do anything to change it. Which is why I'm extremely happy and so proud right now of everyone that's in Nigeria that's going out and getting involved in this protest in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria, and bringing so much attention to it, because there needs to be attention on it. The country has been so mismanaged for so long, and it's the same group of people that are circulating in the political system that are transferring power from one person to another, and nothing is changing. How is anything going to change? And then there was one police officer that got shot, and the police really came out to say that the protesters were the one that shot him. How are the protesters the one that shot a police officer if literally you don't see any protesters with guns? You guys are the only ones that are having guns on you. And if you are shooting like this, I'm sure you probably have like friendly fires at some point. Oh my god. But yeah, this is one protest that, or one movement I'm extremely proud of as a Nigerian. And I'm actually so fucking proud of the people who are involved in the protests right now. Like everyone who is going out there, who is trying to help in one way or the other. People have been setting up donations, they've been setting up infrastructures in place to help lawyers come help people who have been wrongfully arrested during the protests. There's people like doctors who are going, none of these people are getting any kind of payment or compensation. It's literally just from the goodness of their heart and just how much we believe that this is something that the country needs. You even have some people coming to try and disrupt the protest and make it more violent or unruly, and everyone comes together to kick them out and stop them. Like, it's amazing. The goal is so focused, and honestly, like, I get goosebumps thinking about it. And the main goal is clear. Like, there's no catchy phrase behind it or whatever. The message is in the name. End SARS. That's it. End that body that disregards the rights of innocent Nigerians. And when that's the message that is being passed across, I really hope, just like with other movements, they don't necessarily end when one part of it is finished. It transforms into something else. I really hope that the message behind the End SARS movement, which is destroying the body that has been neglecting the rights, the basic rights of Nigerian citizens, gets spilled over into other parts of the system in Nigeria. Because the big system that does also play a role in this is the political system. The leaders that are in place, that are in power, who refuse to provide the basic necessities for the citizens, who just concern themselves with their own generational security in terms of wealth, in terms of protection, in terms of power. Greedy people. I feel like I'm so serious during this video, but man, I don't even know how else to be, because it's very frustrating for a lot of reasons. There's so much potential in the country and it just keeps getting stunted by its own people, by its own leaders, just because they want to preserve themselves, just because they are concerned about themselves. They are not looking at the next person. And it's all these older people from a time when I guess there wasn't a lot. I don't even know if that was the case, but that's the only explanation I can come up with. And now you see the people, the young people who they've called lazy and jobless or whatever, coming out and they're being so selfless to the next person, literally loving their brothers and their sisters. These are the people that I would want to see pushing the country moving forward, not the people who have already been there, who have not done anything beneficial for it. And leadership is definitely not easy by any means whatsoever. But I think at least caring about other people around you is a good place to be, or is a good place to start. I mean, like, we're such a rich country, not just financially, but mentally as well. Like, just, you find Nigerians everywhere. You find them on top of almost every industry around the world. We can be resourceful. We just need an environment that will let us thrive. And to even make matters worse, it's almost like the government doesn't even recognize what the issue is. Because people started with the whole End SARS hashtag, and when it obviously went viral and it got the attention of the government, they were like, okay, yeah, they're gonna disband it. But then in the same breath, they created a new body called SWAT. And it's just like, are you not even understanding what's going on? Finish dealing with one thing first, and then you can start looking to maybe create another body. But how do you expect people to be convinced that you're actually paying attention if you haven't even addressed what the issues that they've mentioned are before going on to create a new body. Like, how do we know that it's not just going to be copy and paste? That's exactly what it's going to be. Over the years, they've said, oh yeah, that they've disbanded SARS, they've disbanded it. But then, years later, they're still there. So I'm just happy that people are so fucking smart to not fall for this gestures that are meant to just appease people, like, okay, go back home, stop protesting, blah blah blah. And they know it's just deployed to, keep on doing whatever rubbish it is that they're doing. Fuck them. It's ended up being a rant video, kind of. But yeah, fuck those people. Fuck SARS, and SARS, and SWAT. If you stayed till the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave links down below. You can find the website where people put up their stories and their experiences with SARS. And you can also see some videos from the protests or some videos that people have taken with regards to SARS as well. I'm also going to put donation information in the description if you feel like helping out. And yeah, if you want to help spread the word, #EndSARS. Peace.